Sutton goes long. The header over. Barbarouses. Zavada! They've done it! In the 99th minute! Oscar Zavada! And we're back on! In Sky.
Right, so it's we're coming towards the end of October. The sun is shining, even though it's still rather cold here in New Zealand. We're just going through, I guess it is typical classic spring weather, and we've had the NRL, AFL finished. NPC's coming to it's in semi-final, final stages, and I guess that's kind of the time for the Australian A-League to start. Football in Australia and New Zealand's always had to play in the rugby off season, not to clash. I know the A-Leagues had mooted the idea of trying to compete with the NRL and AFL directly, but which I think that was that was just absolutely bonkers and never going to happen. So yeah, look, it is another season. It's quite and it sort of feels like it has been a while because of course it's been I guess the A-League does have a very long off season, although clubs were playing in the FFA Cup, where the Knicks were eliminated early, although they've been playing kids for that. Of course, you had the Champions League, AFC Champions League, which the Knicks can't be involved in, and the Champions League too, which is I've made a video about that, so I won't go into that. So it feels like a long time, but yeah, look. To be fair, I think if you've been following the off season, there has been a lot of changes at the Knicks, and I thought, yeah, as part of previewing the season ahead for the Knicks, and also talking about we've got another New Zealand team, the Auckland FC. I thought it's time to have a look at both these teams. So yeah, just a recap. Look. The 2023-24 A-League season was arguably the greatest, the best that the Knicks have ever had. I've certainly seen a lot of the Knicks. I've been following the Knicks since their inception under Terra Picios back in 06. And look, I know I've seen the season where in 09-10 when they first made the playoffs. But certainly in terms of where they finished in the regular season on the table, second. There was only the fact that they lost and hit to the Central Coast that they didn't finish top. A truly remarkable season, and of course. Notwithstanding the fact that this was the first full season under new coach Giancarlo Italiano, and we'd sort of come off, it's sort of been on the back of a reasonably successful period under Ufuk Talai, and there were a bit of concerns that Italiano had never coached at this level, but look, he proved everyone wrong, and not just results, but style to see on the pitch. You're looking at a side that was basically, an Arsenal, Man City in the way they played, the possession style, sort of, a nice, pleasing style. And yeah, look, I've joked in the past that, if only the Knicks had Pep Guardiola and had unlimited cash and resources and could make a pitch for Pep Guardiola. Well, to be honest, you don't really need Pep Guardiola because you have a man in Giancarlo Italiano who feels like he's been in that Pep Guardiola school. And he certainly proved, that not only was he a very good analyst, but certainly a very, very good coach. But that is the first season now, and we're now coming to season 2. And unfortunately, I just look, I guess maybe it is a reminder that the Knicks and the A-League are small fish compared in this world football. That that we've lost quite a few players this time. Look, I know the Knicks have lost marquee players every season, just like any other club. You recall back to the Mark Rudan days. We lost pretty much half the team when Rudan suddenly left and went over, and a lot of them went to join him at his expansion team. Was it Western United? I can't remember. But we bounced back to lie and remain competitive and found a lot of good players. And it looks like we're going to have to do that. My concern, I'm a bit worried that we have I think this time though, I feel we have lost a lot of really important players that were key to the Knicks finishing where as high as they were and making the semi-final. Alex Paulson, arguably the best goalkeeper in the A-League. He was meant to go to Bournemouth, although he's somehow surfaced in the A-League again. More on him shortly. But not only that, you look, I think Ben, you're looking at likes of Old, who's gone to Saint Etienne. Pennington's left. You've lost Zawada. You lost Crave. I thought Crave was going to stay. So we've lost some pretty key players. Although on the flip side, you've still got Tim Payne. You've got Wooten, who was a rock at the back. And we've still got Barbarouses. You've got Alex Rufus still. Sam Sutton, and of course we managed to get back Marco Rojas. And look, I know his first return in the Knicks. He's always been I think he's always a player who's done really well in the A-League. So and coming back to New Zealand. So but still, it is going to be. I think there is still going to be a bit of transition here. The good thing about the A-League, of course, that is quite a long off season, and there's a bit of time for these, preseason. To get to bet together. So, there have been some promising signings. Look, Kazuki Nagasawa. I think he's been named the captain. No, he was named Nagasawa from. And then you've got the goalkeeper Josh Uluwayemi. And of course, the Knicks continue. You've got your Oscar Van Hattens, Lucas Kelly Heels, all the academy players. A couple more are coming through the academy. Gabriel Sloan Rodriguez, who scored a really wonderful goal in the New Zealand Football Championship. I think he's one to watch. You got Luke Stupik on a scholarship as well. Come on, so I think you're going to see a lot more of the academy, and I think so this is certainly going to be a really important, a big season. I kind of feel maybe season 1 for Italiano was a bit of a honeymoon season. So this is really where the tire hits the track. I'm sorry, I've messed that one up. So in terms of the next is I think I don't think we'll be able. I think last season that was just really remarkable. I think if we were to repeat that, then Italiano really is the GOAT. I think if we were to, getting into the playoffs again, which means it's a top 6 position. If we can do that, I think we will call this a really successful year. And I guess, given that the amount of change, I should mention also Finn Sermon's also left. So certainly, look, given the amount of changes that the Knicks have experienced, I think if we get top 6, that'll be truly remarkable. It has to be said, remember, I think the Knicks are still, the finances, it is still a club that is really operating at a shoestring level. And certainly now is not the richest professional club in New Zealand now. The fact that we are achieving this is a tribute to the fans and the passion that the Wellington region has towards the Knicks and I guess New Zealand, the rest of New Zealand now. So that those are my thoughts on the Knicks. Right, now, this is going to be a first because, of course, the A-League's now not just one, but 2 teams based in New Zealand. And, of course, it's Auckland FC we're talking about. And I have no plans to get Auckland FC jerseys, and it's blue, so I'm wearing the Scottish jersey for this preview. And look, they kick off against Brisbane on Saturday evening at Mount Smart Stadium or Go Media Stadium, to use the correct corporate name. But it is. There is a lot of intrigue. And I think, to be fair, they have recruited. I think Auckland so far they've done everything right. It kind of feels. Look, I think they really need. If football, you've seen in the NSL and the New Zealand Knights how not to run a football team in New Zealand and certainly in Auckland. And look, we're kind of nearly 18 years on, and I think they've certainly gone with a different plan. I think firstly the ownership consortium is all right. You've got Bill. It's Auckland FC is part of the consortium owned by Bill Foley, who has got a lot of experience in professional sport. He owns the Vegas Golden Knights, and of course he's got connections with Bournemouth FC. The idea of Auckland FC is sort of like this, is yet another member of this multi-club model that we're seeing overseas with, through Red Bull, the City Football Group, and all that. And look, they have, to be fair, their recruitment's been really, really impressive. There's lots of New Zealanders that they've, from overseas, they've recruited. You've got Michael Wood, you have Pinnaker, Tommy Smith, Cam Howson. A couple of these were actually playing for the All Whites over the week in this international break. Max Matter, Joe Champness, De Vries, Callan Elliott, Logan Rogerson, and of course the piece de resistance, I could say, and possibly, look, I think in terms of rivalry, possibly the most important signing on almost an optical level is Alex Paulson. I know he's on loan from Bournemouth, but he came from the Knicks. Now he's playing for Auckland. He is in Auckland, and by the way, he's in Auckland native, and he's totally entitled to make this move. I think certainly having Paulson playing on the other side, certainly that New Zealand, the first Auckland Wellington derby is going to, now has a different level. So I think that, Wellington, it'll be interesting. I think Paulson will expect a bit of grief, probably myself as a Knicks fan, but it's all part of the game. And, I'm sure, if we see on the waterfront, we won't be, we'll just leave whatever chance we have on the field. But certainly, look, it is a lot of New Zealanders, and certainly I think there'll be factors. They're in Auckland. They're playing at Mount Smart Stadium, I think, which is the right choice rather than like QBE Stadium. Plus, QBE Stadium is just awful in terms of professional sport. It's too far from everyone else, and you're just relying on people on the North Shore. Mount Smart, by contrast, you got Penrose. It's close enough to the city. You've got that rectangular field. I think, and of course, the other bit, and I should mention the foreign signing, Jake Brimmer, Hiroki Sakai is going to be the captain. So a couple of really good pros from overseas, Guillermos from Chile. So I think, and then I should obviously mention the coaching staff. Steve Corica's the head coach. He was coach of Sydney. And had a really successful time there. I think he certainly has experience of the A-League. I think, and they've also got Danny Hay, who's an assistant. He will know New Zealand. They've got Jonathan Gold as goalkeeping coach, Doug Course as head of recruitment, Cam Kilgore, team manager. I think that, I'm going to put it out there, and this might be a curse, I guess, Yes, I want this team to do well, but at the same time, I've got to think about the next. But I think Auckland FC could potentially be the most successful A-League expansion franchise team since the Western Sydney Wanderers. So I think it is clear. I know Western United have won an A-League title, but Western Sydney Wanderers are probably the most successful expansion franchise team in A-League history, just in terms of commercial success and also on-field success. They've won the A-League. They're the only Australian team to win the AFC Champions League. I think the fact, Auckland's potential as Auckland's potential as a place for football to develop has always been there. It's just through mismatch and poor choices that it's become sort of like a poison chalice that, with the Knights, the bad experience of the Knights, the Football Kings. But there is, I think we've had 18 years now. You've seen how the Knicks have gone there. They've always had really good crowds. There's definitely an appetite for football there. It's just not been tapped properly. I feel with the way this Auckland FC team has been structured and, all the deals, they're making the right noise. I think potentially this could work out well. And I think it needs to do well. They need to be in the playoffs the first season. And I think they can. I think they've got the right elements there. And for that, man, I dare say that Auckland might very well finish ahead of Wellington just because Wellington's had a lot of changes, as I mentioned. Auckland is a new team. It's going to be unpredictable. People are not going to know how to play this team. And that's key. If they succeed, they'll be able to attract crowds of at least over 10,000. If they can get that, if they can get the average crowd of over 10,000, and then I'd say that is a really good success. And if they can really, if they find themselves right into the end, in contention for the title, and they can get that crowd up, get Mount Smart filling, then it's a commercial success. Then season one's a commercial success. And there are a lot of examples that, since Auckland can look at. Bill Foley certainly knows about it. The Vegas Golden Knights, of course, are hailed as the best expansion franchise in NHL history. He knows what to do. He's got the connections with Bournemouth, as he's used that, like with Alex Paulson, for example. And I know, obviously they're never going to get Dom Solanke before he went to Spurs. But look, there is a lot of there is resources there. So, and I think, I hate to say this, but I think this Auckland FC team could possibly finally take New Zealand football to the levels that the Knicks just couldn't quite do it, because I think the Knicks just didn't quite have the resources. Wellington's a far smaller city. There's a lot of economic issues right now in Wellington. Auckland on the other end, larger city in New Zealand. A lot of potential there, a lot of immigrants as well who not necessarily grew up with rugby, but certainly love football. There's so much, the potential is endless there. I think Auckland, I think Auckland, and look, I'm a New Zealand football fan, and New Zealand's small enough. Look, I think Auckland could very well be the one that takes New Zealand football to the next level. And look, don't get me wrong, the Knicks have done so much to New Zealand football. Without the Knicks, New Zealand football wouldn't be where it is today. But I just think with the resources Auckland have, and I think that they could be really, really successful. They might very well at least emulate what Western Sydney Wanderers have done. So that's the look at the A-League, particularly just focus on Wellington and Auckland. I'm not really going to go into too much detail about the rest of the league, because particularly I'm not familiar with the other teams. I mean, you anticipate it's going to be Melbourne, Sydney, a Melbourne club or a Sydney club that's going to be in there, the powerhouses of all the resources and all that. You're hoping the Auckland will be in the top 4. I think Wellington top 6. So those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts on the A-League? What are your thoughts on this new Auckland team? What are your thoughts on the Wellington Phoenix? Is Giancarlo Italiano the real deal, or is he just a one-hit wonder? So look, I'd like to hear your thoughts, and if you like this video, feel free to like, and don't forget to subscribe.